much chubbier than what they would like to be. Let's start that. Intro now.
Good morning, good morning. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Facebook. Good morning, Daily Huddle. Good morning. And thanks to each and every one of you, stand the man. Power to the people, my brother. Good morning, everyone. It is always a pleasure to get to see and speak to each and every one of you on this beautiful Tuesday morning. You are here. We are here. My name is Vince Rountree, myself and my incredible co-host, Mr. Rawlin Vanatta. We are here today as hosts of the Health, Wellness, and Vitality Show. And we will bring you information that will make your life healthier. I don't want to say wealthier because that was yesterday, the money people. And wise. Yes, that's what we will do today. And before we get started, I want to talk to my brother Stan the man, and I'm looking for Doris, man. If Stan gonna be with Doris, I want to see Doris next to Stan.
You know what? I'm gonna make sure we get Doris in here one of these mornings, real soon, perhaps this week. Yeah, so everybody can see Doris.
Okay, awesome. Yeah. Well, how are you this morning, Stan?
I am reflecting. I'm reflecting because I am what I say I am, and I'm reflecting on my thoughts and making sure that they are what they are.
That's
they always are going to be what they are.
And what better way to start the day than being as you say you are, and you are reflecting. And the more you reflect, the more you see, the more you can improve. It's a beautiful, beautiful way to start the day, man. I appreciate you sharing that with us. And Sorrel, do me a favor and tell me what time it is, man. What time is it?
True, man. I forgot to put my watch on. But you know what?
What?
That doesn't matter.
Why?
Because the time is now. It's now, Vince. It's right now.
The time is now. We are the way we say we are, and we are here in the only place that you have an effect on. We spend so much time worry about the future. We spend so much time complaining about the past, and we miss the world, which is our present. Our present. That's where we live. All right, Mr. Rawlin Vanatta, why don't you just do us all a favor and help us get started? And let's talk about weight and vegans and fat sticking to the body. Let's talk about that.
Let's talk about fat sticking to the body. Let's talk about that. Particularly,
yeah,
I'm going to talk about three things.
All right.
Three things. Three. How many of them?
How many?
Three. Right? If you're on Facebook right now, type in three. You're going to talk about three things that makes fat to just stick to you.
What's number one? What's number one?
Oh, number one is guacamole, right? Like avocado. That's number one.
Okay. Wait, guacamole sticks to your body? Avocado that sticks to your body?
Oh, like crazy. It's you're gonna be like Santa Claus.
What?
Yeah. And wait a minute. Peanut butter. Peanut butter's even worse. Peanut butter's worse than avocados. An avocado is gonna make you look like Santa Claus. Peanut butter is like, you know, Santa Claus'
Santa's
brother you
pregnant.
never heard about because he can't fit down no chimneys. Right? All right. And then the worst, you know, like the worst thing is olive oil.
Wait,
Yeah, all these healthy foods.
no.
These healthy foods.
Come on, olive oil is healthy, man.
It can be. It can also make you bigger than a sumo wrestler. Real fast. I'll even tell you this. It can make fat to stick to you so fast that it's actually the easiest food to gain weight on that exists on planet Earth. Meaning you can eat the smallest amount of olive oil or avocado oil or canola oil, any oil, all plant-based oils, by the way, any oil.
Hey, Rawlin,
Yes, sir.
we all know that carbs is what makes you fat.
Hey, Vince, you know,
Yeah.
I know that that's what everybody says, but let me ask you a question.
All right.
You're the science man. You're the science man. So I'm going to ask you a question right now. If you're
Yeah.
going to look at it gram per gram,
All right.
because everybody's talking about protein, carbohydrates, fat. They say fat and protein, eat as much as you want. All these keto people, protein and fat and protein. Let's do the fat's had such a bad name. What's going on with fat? Y'all need to quit belly aching on fat. You need to stop those evil carbs. Well, let's just break it down for people with some science. Talk to me gram for gram and calories, right? Does everyone know that calories are the fuel that runs your body? And if you get more calories than you burn, it gathers around the midsection rather fast. I bet everybody has seen that, or most people have experienced it. Too many calories in, not enough out.
So
Santa Claus City.
So calorie for so gram for gram.
Calories per calorie. Let's talk about what actually is the worst type of food for weight gain. What's the worst thing? Protein, carbs, or fat?
Well, let's start from the lowest. What has the lowest number of calories per gram? And the lowest would be water.
What? How many calories per pound per gram is in that?
Water has no calories per gram. There's no calories per gram. Now that may sound trivial, but that actually ends up being vitally important. Water has 0. So next up, how many calories per gram of protein? Okay. Every gram of protein has 4 calories.
Has 4 of them.
4. Every gram of protein, 4 calories.
Hey, let me ask y'all a question. So for every gram of protein, how many calories does each gram of protein have? Raise it up for me. 4.
Got 4.
All right.
Got 4. All right. Let's move on to carbohydrates. Carbohydrates. Every gram of carbohydrate has 4 calories.
What? So these carbs and these proteins, both of them, every gram has how many? Everybody?
4.
4 calories per gram.
4 calories per gram.
Okay.
4 calories per gram. Protein, 4 calories per gram. Carbohydrate.
Okay. What about that next one? Anybody
So-
remember what that? There's protein, carbs, and what is it? What's that third one? Protein, carbs, and
Fat.
That's right. Fat.
Fat. Now, fat has 9 calories
What?
per gram. Every gram has 9.
Okay, let's all practice, guys. If you got a gram of fat, showing your fingers, how many calories?
What about chicken fat? A gram of chicken fat has,
9.
how about a gram of fish fat?
Oh, that's that. That's 9 right there.
How about a gram of olive oil?
Oh,
How about extra virgin olive oil? How about extra virgin olive oil? You got more virgins than a virgin could be a virgin. Virgins running all over the place. They all have 9. So if you're trying to lose weight, why would you avoid the food with 4 calories per gram and run to the food that has 9? Why would you do that?
how does that make any mathematical sense at all? It's over double.
Over double.
So you can eat over double the amount of carbs and get the same calories in your body as half of the same quantity from fat, right? So like, so Vince, talk to me. So why
So what are the 3? It's protein, carbohydrates, and what's the other one?
fats?
Fat.
And fats.
Those are the macronutrients, right? So those are the 4 macronutrients. And so if you look at all of the food that you eat, it's got some composition of protein, fat, carbohydrate, and then I'll throw also in there water. Because the reason why fruits and vegetables but it would be between 0 and 4 calories per gram because of water. There's a lot of water in fruits, there's a lot of water in vegetables, and that pulls the average down closer to like 1 if we're going to do it on a calories per gram, which is why we do calories per pound, because it just spreads it out more. You know, fat has 9 calories per gram, and I like calories per gram on the macronutrients because it's 9 and 4. You could take that same 9 and multiply by 454, and then you get 4,000 calories per pound. So you can shift, you can go back and forth between calories per pound and calories per gram. I like talking calories per gram on the macronutrients because the numbers are nice and easy, 4 and 9. But you also need to know that water is in there as well at 0, and that pulls it down even below 4, but between 4 and 0.
So let's talk about that for a second. So this is the reason why a grape won't ever make you fat, but a raisin might. But Ryan, right? Like a grape is like Ryan. It's
That's
just
funny.
Your
His-
microphone doesn't pick up your weird voices.
The mic won't pick up the range of his high voice.
really? What's it sound like?
Like
Nothing.
this.
It sounds like the raisins.
So think about this, right? You can eat like a raisin is like 1,400 calories per pound. So you pound of raisins, you eat like 1,400 calories, something like that. Okay, way over 1,000. You eat a pound of grapes, you're at 250 calories. What's the difference? The difference is that how much water is present. Because water takes up space in the tummy. but has no calories. So what do you have when you're looking at oil? The worst food you could possibly consume for weight loss. You're looking at something that all the carbohydrates have been pulled away from. All the protein has been pulled away from. And the only thing that's left is pure fat.
I have a question.
Peanuts and all nuts just happen to be high in fat, and they don't have a lot of water content, right? Eat your bunch of peanuts and tell me you don't get thirsty.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
I'm trying to ask the question. It's a two-part question. I think I'm going to ask the question correctly, and you guys help me do the question better. So an aspect of losing weight or gaining weight is calorie consumption. I mean, it's like that simple. It's like that simple.
Calorie consumption is the only path to weight loss, generally speaking. Like,
or gaining weight.
or
Okay.
gaining weight, either one. It's an input output. That's it. It's
Like
how much fuel is put on the fire and how long the fire can burn based on that fuel. That's it.
It's that simple. Okay, now there's this two-part question. So then there is the social hypnosis educational condition, if you will. The what it's out there in society, if you will, that if you eat only fats, you lose weight. Like if you just eat protein, and protein has a bunch of fat, then you will lose weight as long as you don't eat carbohydrates or something like that. But what I'm hearing you're saying is, well, you're in a real pickle because the fats are the ones who have most of the calories. And then you brought something called insulin resistant, and then it really got complicated, right? But so how the hell someone who only has a fat diet gonna lose weight? But they do. And so what's the complication here?
Yeah,
Such a great question. You go ahead, and then if I want to fill anything else.
So the reason why that happens is because if you look at the average American's diet, that is full of junk, right? We know it's burgers and fries and pizza and fried chicken and right. And so, candies and refined carbs and donuts and cupcake. We look at everything. And so somebody goes from a standard American diet, and then they say, okay, well, I'm going to go to a low carb, a ton of meat diet, and they lose weight. There's two reasons why that happened. And that will happen. There's two reasons why that happened. The first reason is you cut out a lot of junk. And I am saying that is a good thing. You may have cut out the donuts, and you may have cut out, maybe the French fries, and you may, and you may have gone from fried chicken to roasted chicken, so you cut out a lot of junk. That's the first thing. And so you easily can have a calorie shift down in calorie density. You still could be making a shift down, which will work. In addition to that, if you are on eating the standard American diet full of, good carbs, bad carbs, a lot of fat, a lot of junk, a lot of heavily processed foods, and then you go low carb. Well, when you go low carb, understand that the body can store carbohydrates in the form of glycogen, right? That's stored in the muscles, it's stored in the liver. And for every molecule of glycogen, there's 2 molecules of water attached to it. And so if you go really low carb, the body uses that glycogen as fuel. So when you stop eating that, that fuel gets burnt off and you train the body how to run on fat. Well, what happens when you burn off that stored glycogen? Each molecule of glycogen has 2 molecules of water attached to it. You will instantly lose a bunch of water and the scale is going to go down. So you've done 2 things that will promote your weight loss. You lose a lot of water, which is why when people go low carb, as soon as they start eating carbs back, it just comes right back. Because you fill the glycogen stores and then 2 molecules of water come back for every one of those, right? That's not what we're really trying to lose body fat. That's not what we're really trying to lose. But the biochemistry behind what's happening when you burn the glycogen stores is water's going away with it. Okay, so those are the 2 reasons why, if you clean up your diet and you get rid of a lot of the other junk and then you're just eating a lot of meat, you've gotten rid of a lot of unhealthy foods. And when you're eating a lot of processed foods, you're forcing your gut in order to deal with dyes and preservatives and emulsifiers, and an unhealthy gut will help promote weight gain as well. Go ahead, Rawlin.
Yeah, I just wanted to mention something. And a lot of times when people say they go low carb, they definitely increase their meat. They definitely increase their protein side of things. They don't, a lot of times they actually have a net decrease in their fat. The reason why that happens sometimes is because they are no longer eating fried chicken. So they removed the bread from the fried chicken, but they also removed all the oil that bread soaked up because they're not eating right? They're also a lot of times removing many dressings because so many dressings have high sugar contents, okay? And they say, well, I can't have that. But also dressings, typically their biggest and most #1 ingredient is oil, right? When people stop their donuts, what were their donuts sitting in and soaking up when they were fried? Oil, right? Stop your candy bars, go look at the fat content of candy bars, right? People stop eating their French fries. What were those French fries soaking in? People stop eating their potato chips when they go on low carb, right? People stop eating their baked potatoes that they smother and cover in butter and cheese and bacon. Now, they may eat butter, cheese, and bacon, but what's happened is they have, as a net overall, a lot of times they've decreased a lot of fat while simultaneously gotten rid of other foods that were carbohydrates, but all the water had been sucked out of those carbohydrates, like breads, right? Like raisins. So there's so many different aspects that makes it work, and yet it's still terrible for you. And typically what you find really quickly is people will lose weight drastically, but it's not sustainable. And that's because it doesn't satisfy the nutrients that you need. And so you end up craving a carb so bad you can't see straight. Go ahead, Vince.
And then you also typically your cholesterol goes through the roof. It's very, very common to, for people on low carb diet to have very high cholesterol. And the studies show that it also increases all-cause mortality, death from heart attack, death from stroke, death from cancer, all-cause mortality. Sorrel, you got your hand up, my friend.
Yes, sir. Good morning, guys. For almost 2 years now, we've been saying eat all you want below the red line. So from that perspective, I want to make sure that I've got it right, that I can eat all the calories I want below the red line and nothing will stick to my waist so long as I stay below the red line. And what really saves me is that the calorie density is so low below the red line, but that I can't eat enough.
Exactly right.
Right? It
100%.
stops me. The stretch sensors will stop me.
Exactly.
You
Now-
just too full. That's it.
Assuming I'm speaking to that population, I'm eating below the red line. You're now telling me that even though it's plant-based, avocados, nuts, oil will stick to me like a sumo wrestler,
100%.
right? So now that's the warning, right? I can eat all I want below the red line, but man,
Except for those three things.
except for those three things, right? I wanted to make sure that I was getting that message really clear.
But those three things are not below the red line.
I know.
So the reason why we pay special attention to nuts, seeds, and avocados is because those are whole plant-based foods above the red line. So we just point that out to people that all of the other plant-based foods are below. But those three are unprocessed plant-based and above. And of course, oil is heavily processed, but from plants, and also that's the highest.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
the nuts, the seeds, and the avocados are ultra healthy.
Yeah. Just wanted to make sure. Now, the other thing I'm hearing you say is this: eat all you want below the red line, and you will lose weight even without exercising.
100.
Now, if I add a little avocado, add a little oil, I add some nuts, well, you know what? I better get moving. Is that what you're saying?
That's one way of looking at it. I think that's one way of looking at it. The way that I prefer to look at it is your weight loss and weight gain is a function of the average calorie density that you consume. So imagine, like taking the average price of a house in a neighborhood. Some will be high, some will be low, and then there's the average. And so if your average calorie density is below 600 calories per, the actual research said if it's below 577, I round that up to 600. If the average calorie density is below 577 calories per pound or lower, if that's what your average is, you will lose weight. Now, if you have some oil, that's above, but if the average is still below, if you have so little that the average is still below 577, you'll still lose. The problem is oil is so high above, it doesn't take much to throw the whole average above, right? So you're better off just staying away from that completely if you can. Avocado is like 700. So it's above, but not way above. So you can have a little more than that. Nuts and seeds are around 2,500. And then oil is 4,000. So you can do, so what I tell people on seeds are so healthy. I want you to have 1 or 2 tablespoons of ground flaxseed, hemp seed, chia seed, because it's super healthy. It's got omega
per
3.
day?
Huh?
Is that per day?
Yes. 1 or 2 tablespoons of that per day, because that is a healthy plant-based source of omega-3 fatty acids. But, and with nuts, it's best to use nuts as a condiment, like sprinkle a little bit over your salad, or sprinkle some in your oatmeal, or sprinkle some in your smoothie. But if you sit down with a can of cashews, you're in trouble, because they're good. And if you get like salted, roasted, you're done. And try to figure out why you can't lose weight, you're done. Because you will overeat.
Let's take a quick lesson. This is going to help you, Sorrel, and then I'll close up. Let's take a quick lesson from the And the right, because the raisin.
You know the mic doesn't pick that up,
it's
right?
still oh
So,
man.
so come on.
So,
Add a little bass to that for us.
so the raisin. Let's take a lesson from the raisin. And what it is what's the difference? What is someone tell me right now? What's the difference between a grape and a raisin?
All the water's been removed from the raisin.
Okay, so that increases the calorie density of the raisin and puts it above the red line. Okay, so if you eat something above the red line, like a cashew, for example, then what's a great way to use a cashew? Well, since cashews are high in fat, then you can make a salad dressing by adding water to the cashew and blending it to a smooth mixture. Use the same seasonings that you would find in a bottle of dressing. Add some vinegar to it in the same way. So you can go to Google, look up best ranch dressing recipe. It doesn't have to be vegan. It does or best honey mustard dressing. It doesn't have to be vegan. You just need the seasonings, and then you need to replace the oil that would be in it with the cashews. But because you mix those cashews with water, you just cut the calories further than in half. So you brought the average down. You have a sauce to put over your salad that doesn't make you fat, because the average calories per pound is lower than 577. And with that, Vince, pull your glasses up, make people squirm, and we'll wrap up.
So I'll end by just throwing in, so you could look that up and make that yourself, or you could join Food Fix University and use the fact that Rawlin did it for you and already has developed the best oil-free, dairy-free ranch dressing, oil-free, dairy-free honey mustard dressing, oil-free, dairy-free, creamy Italian dressing. He's already hacked it and has the recipes. And all you got to do is join Food Fix University and you'll get them and you don't have to do the work. All right.
Pretty soon at a store near you, right?
We will work on that. Not sure if that's a direction, but you know that you only have one body in this lifetime. You look in the mirror, you've only got one of these. If you don't take care of it, where are you going to live? You've only got one body in this lifetime. So eat as though your life depends on it, because it does. Thank you very much. My name is Vince Rountree. Myself and Rawlin Vanatta are co-host of the Daily Huddle. Join the Daily Huddle each and every morning at 9 o'clock, and you are assured to get a piece of information that will change and enhance your life. Have a fantastic day.
Thank you, Vince. Thank you, Rawlin. Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in, Stan.
Yo.